You've probably seen the headlines, right? The accounting industry is in crisis. There's a massive shortage of CPAs. But what if I told you that all that doom and gloom is actually the best career news you've heard all year? Let's get into why this so-called crisis could be an absolute golden opportunity for you. Okay, it all boils down to this one kind of shocking number: 75%. Of all the certified public accountants, CPAs, working in the US right now, a full 75% of them are at or near retirement age. Think about that for a second. That's 3 out of every 4 CPAs. This isn't just a slow drip of people leaving the profession, it's a massive tidal wave of experience that's about to head for the exits. So, if you're a young accountant or you're thinking about becoming one, should this scare you? I mean, is this a sign of a dying industry? Well, to figure that out, we've got to understand why this is even happening in the first place. The heart of the issue is that the pipeline of new talent is drying up. Fewer young people are choosing to go into accounting. College enrollments are down, and a lot of students are opting for careers that seem a little more, glamorous, like finance or tech. So what's turning them off? Well, for starters, the path to becoming a CPA is, frankly, a huge pain. First, there's the 150 credit rule. Your typical bachelor's degree is 120 credits, so this basically forces you into an extra year of school. That means more time, more student loans, all before you can even sit for the notoriously difficult CPA exam itself. It's a massive hurdle. And here's the craziest part about that 150 credit rule. Those extra 30 credits, they don't even have to be in accounting. As one source put it, you could take swimming and underwater basket weaving for all they care. A lot of people see it as just this arbitrary barrier that makes the whole profession feel less accessible from day one. And let's be real, public accounting has a reputation. Everyone knows the stories about the grueling hours, especially during busy season. And when you stack that up against starting salaries that haven't always kept up with other demanding fields, you can see why young people might just say, no thanks. So with this retirement cliff just around the corner and not enough new folks coming in, the industry's kind of freaking out. They know they have a serious problem. So the big question is, what are they actually going to do about it? We are starting to see some changes. The CEO of KPMG, one of the biggest firms in the world, has actually come out and questioned that 150 credit rule. That's a huge deal. Firms are also finally bumping up pay. Ernst & Young, for instance, just raised starting salaries by about 10 grand. And yeah, to handle the workload, a lot of firms are outsourcing the more routine stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking. Outsourcing? AI? Isn't that just going to shrink the profession even more? It's a fair question. But here's the thing. AI and outsourcing are mostly taking over the boring, repetitive tasks. That actually frees up the human CPAs to do the really important work, like strategic advising and complex problem solving. And this is where the entire story flips on its head. Because what looks like a crisis from the outside is creating this incredible, once-in-a-generation opportunity on the inside. For any young CPA starting out today, this shortage isn't a threat. It's your single biggest advantage. The common fear is that you're jumping onto a sinking ship, right? An industry that's in decline with way too much competition for the few jobs left. But the new reality is the exact opposite. You're walking into a field with less competition and a fast track to the top. Here's how that plays out. So, it's a pretty simple chain reaction. First, that giant wave of experienced CPAs starts to retire. And we're not just talking about a few entry-level jobs. We're talking about senior manager roles, director positions, even partner spots, all opening up, all at the same time. With a much smaller group of young accountants coming up through the ranks, there's just less competition for those top jobs. The folks who are already in the door are going to have to get promoted to fill all those empty chairs. And this right here is the most important part. The demand for smart, skilled CPAs isn't going down. It's just basic economics. When supply drops like a rock but demand stays strong, what happens? Your value, your salary, your leverage, it all skyrockets. So let's be super clear about the main takeaway here. The declining number of CPAs is not a sign that the profession is declining. The need for smart people who understand money is never, ever going away. This quote really nails it. It doesn't make your career as a CPA any less valuable. In fact, I think it makes it even more valuable. You're not just another accountant, you're becoming a rare and essential expert. So you see, the problem was never about the value of accounting. The problem has been years of poor industry management, these crazy entry rules, the burnout culture. And the best part is, those things can actually be fixed. And it looks like the industry is finally waking up and trying to do just that. So here's the bottom line. Don't let all those scary headlines about an accountant shortage freak you out. Let them get you excited. You're looking at a future with more opportunity, faster promotions, and more negotiating power than CPAs have seen in decades. This is your moment. Which leaves us with one last really big question. As this massive shift happens and the number of CPAs continues to shrink, who's going to be there to keep the world's finances in check? The answer to that could be you.